Schmidt, a true tag team. Breaking through the lines, they play supreme. The Spud Kingdom rises, loyal and proud. Idaho Falls rocking, we're bringing the crowd. Spud Kings, we own this night. The kingdom roars like fire, we ignite. Coming for the cup, we bring the fight. Spud Kingdom, we rise, unite.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Spud Kingdom podcast. I'm your host as always, Woody. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me on another adventure of some hockey. Appreciate you always, as always, because I can't do this without you guys. So I appreciate you. I have trivia, weekend recap, 3 stars of the week. We have player of the week and player of the month announcements, stats, standings, preview for the weekend. You know, the whole shebang. So I only have a couple more weeks of school remaining this semester, and my schedule is not going to be as hectic. I mean, it's still going to be crazy because I'm going to be working a little bit more. And I would like to start talking with some of you and having discussions about the team. I had one of you reach out to me and mention maybe we should do a roundtable discussion. So once I wrap up school and have time to sit down with you guys and we can figure out a time that works with everybody, I'm going to get contact with a couple of you that I have in mind and see what times work for you guys. And we'll set up a time and we'll do like a Zoom call and we'll all get on. I'll set up some questions and some concerns and stuff like that. And we'll have a roundtable discussion because I like to see what your guys' point of view is. I got my point of view and I know it's similar to some of y'all's, but I would like to actually hear your guys' point of views. I think it would be great. I think other people would like to hear it too because it's also their point of view. So one of the things that I might want to talk about is like, what do you guys think about this new Billings team announcement? Like, I'm happy there's another team coming into the league, but I have mixed feelings because it is ownership that owns our team as well. So my thoughts is like, how's that going to work out? Is there going to be any favoritism towards one team? What's going to be going on with that? I want to know your guys' thoughts. So like, I'm going to be getting a hold of you guys, a couple of you out there for sure. And we're going to set something up. Let's talk about some of these things. So let's kick it off with a little bit of trivia. What year was the penalty shot introduced? So think about that one, ponder on it, Google it if you want. We'll come back to the answer at the end of the show after we get done with stat standings and all that good stuff before we get to the weekend preview. So, speaking of, let's get to the weekend recap. Game 1 was Thursday, November 6, 2025 at the MAC. It was versus the Casper Warbirds. This would be a good game for the Spud Kings and a good return to the net for Alex Sabev. Looks like he's starting to get the backup role, and it was nice to see him in the net. I figured against Casper, it would be a good time to see if he could shine a little bit. So I was glad to see him out there and getting some work in. First period, shot battle would be pretty even in this period. It wouldn't be pretty even. It would be even. Casper had 7 shots on goal. Spud Kings also had 7. Spud Kings would be the ones to capitalize on their shots, though. The first goal came at 4 minutes, 30 seconds by the stash, baby. Bookie Warshaw, his 3rd of the season, and he was assisted on the play by Owen Beyer for his 5th, and Andrew Schmidt, his 8th assist of the year. A little over 6 minutes later, at 10 minutes, 59 seconds, Tyler Atchison continues his big year and starts a big weekend with his 7th assisted. With his 7th, and he was assisted on the play by Lucas Ronner, his 5th, and Caleb Lapete for his 8th. The period would end, Spud Kings up 2-0. So second period, Spud Kings would dominate the shot battle in this period, although the scoring would be even. Both sides would get a lick at it. Casper had 10 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 15. Andrew Schmidt would kick off the scoring in this period at 3 minutes, 50 seconds for his 3rd. And he was assisted on the play by Owen Beyer for his 6th and William Strickland for his 5th. Andrew Schmidt doing some big scoring in this game already. He was assisting on a play earlier. Now he's scoring. I mean, it's so good to have him back in the lineup. I'll tell you what, guys. So Spud Kings lead 3-0 at this point. The Warbirds would break up the shutout, though, and at 10 minutes, 24 seconds, Devin Schaefer would get one past Sabev. The rest of the period would stall out for the most part, and the period would end 3-1. So, third period, Spud Kings would once again dominate the shot battle. Casper had 8 shots on goal. Spud Kings have 14. Casper would strike first in the period and pretty fast. At 40 seconds, Mason McCullough would get his, I don't know, I didn't write it down, but he would make a goal and make it a 1-goal game. So it'd be 3-2. Still Spud Kings winning in the lead. But, they're creeping up. They're creeping a little bit. It would not take long for the Spud Kings to answer, though. At 4 minutes, 28 seconds, Leo, the man to Noodle, gets his third of the year, and he was assisted on the play by the stash, Bookie Warshaw, for his 7th, and Andrew Schmidt for his 9th. Another assist, another point. This guy, welcome back, Andrew Schmidt. That's all I can say. Spud Kings take the lead. Well, they were in the lead, but they extend it 4-2. To put the icing on the cake at 17 minutes and 48 seconds, Owen Beyer would get his 5th, and he was assisted on the play by Leo Mantenuto, with his team leading 11th, and William Strickland for his 6th. This would put the Spud Kings up 5-2, period, and game would also end this way. Spud Kings win. What a great game. It was nice to see these guys have a big win. Alex Sabev stopped 23 out of 25 shots for a 92 save percentage for his 3rd win on the season. So he's 3-2 overall on the year. This was a big boost, I think, for him and his confidence. He was looking pretty good out there for the most part. Those 2 goals that did get by him were kind of like squeaky shots for the most part. But, it was a good game for Sabev. It was nice to see him out there doing his thing. Game 2 would be the following night, Friday, November 7th, 2025, also at the MAC versus the My Little Ponies. The Ogden Mustangs. Penalty minutes and shots would be plentiful in this one. Ogden had 46 penalty minutes and the Spud Kings had 20. So Ogden spent a little over 2 periods in the penalty box. Just think about that for a second. It's crazy. And the Spud Kings spent a whole minute, or a whole period, not a whole minute. They spent a whole period in the penalty box. Just to show you what kind of game it is when we play these guys every single time. Now, for real, though, the shots would be stacked up like this. Ogden had 3 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 16. Man, what a big difference the first period would be. This period would be all Spud Kings, if you didn't notice, just by the shots on goal in general. And then it started fast and hot. At 1 minute, 41 seconds, Will O'Donovan would get his 1st of the year, and he was assisted by the Grim Reaper, Sam Grimaldi, for his 10th, and Tyler Atchison for his 4th. 4 minutes later, at 5 minutes, 50 seconds, DJ the Beast McLeish would get his 6th of the year, and he was assisted by Lucas Ronner for his 6th and Owen Beyer for his 7th. If you guys haven't noticed, I have said Lucas Ronner and Owen Beyer's name a few times in this episode. These guys had a heck of a weekend. Like, it was just a great team effort. Like, I had to write down. I always write down the top stat getters for the weekend, so I know how to do my 3 stars of the week. And I had a lot this week. I don't know if you guys can't see it. Back up just a little bit. Anyway, I filled up a lot of names because there was a lot of people getting points and contributing. And Owen and Lucas were 2 of the most consecutive on this. But not much longer after that, Tyler Atchison gets another. And I told you about this kid, didn't I? Didn't I tell you about this kid? I could have swore before the season started, I said he was going to have a big year and be a big contributor. And this kid just keeps piling it on. Anyway, he gets his 8th of the year, and he was assisted on the play by Caleb Lepeat for his 9th and Lucas Ronner for his 7th. That's 3 goals unanswered so far, and they happened pretty quickly. And it would not take long to add the 4th, because at 11 minutes, 25 seconds, Caleb Lepeat would get his 3rd of the year, and he was assisted by who? That's right, Tyler Atchison for his 5th of the year. Spud Kings would take a 4-0 lead, and the period would end that way. Second period. Now, this is where that Ogden BS would start. A little dirty, and just getting in the players' heads in general. Just Ogden doing what Ogden does when they play. I guess it's just how they play because they just lead the league in penalty minutes every year, and this is just how they play. But when they play us, I feel like it's a little more. Um, Ogden had 10 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 12. The Mustangs would break their scoring drought, though, and score on Dagenstein at 9 minutes, 28 seconds. Logan Lambrecht would make the score 4-1. And then about 6 minutes later, 15 minutes and 16 seconds, Billy Jacobson Couch would add another, making the score now 4-2. Got to tell you, I was starting to get a little bit nervous at this point because these two goals, I mean, they were spread out a little bit, but not very much. And it felt like they were starting to gain a little momentum. So I was starting to get a little nervous at the way the game was going at this point. The period would end 4-2 Spud Kings. Still winning, but like I said, got me worried. Third period started off scary and finished in a. Ogden had 7 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 12. So Ogden would strike first in this period at 6 minutes, 9 seconds. Logan Lambrecht would get his second of the game and a power play goal, taking the score to 4-3. Spud King still winning, but like I said, I'm shaking in my boots. I don't wear boots, but I wear dudes, so shaking in my dudes. At 10 minutes, 25 seconds, Owen Byer would ease my mind a little bit and getting his 6th of the year, and he was assisted by, once again, Andrew Schmidt, his 10th of the year, and Bookie Warshaw for his 5th. 5-3 Spud Kings. Whew, man, I'm telling you, this game had me reeling for a minute. And then at 14 minutes, 40 seconds, mama, there's that man again. Tyler Atchison would get his 9th of the year. This one was unassisted and short-handed. He would steal the puck, make it on a breakaway, make a little pretty little pop, and he scored. Telling you, this kid, watch him, guys. This would finish off the pesky Mustangs 6-3 period and game over. Spud Kings win. Devin Dagenstein would stop 17 out of 20 shots for his 85 save percentage. He picks up his 6th win on the season and is now 6-0-1 for the year. 3 stars of the week. Let's get to that now that we've done this part. So 3 stars of the week. My 3rd star, because he had a pretty dominating weekend and he just got back the weekend before. Welcome back to Andrew Schmidt. Coming back from injury, he had 1 goal and 3 assists on the weekend for 4 total points. 2nd star was Mr. Owen Byer. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 total points on the weekend. 1st star is, if I need to tell you, but it is number 21, Tyler Atchison. He had 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 total points on the weekend. So what a big weekend for the boys altogether. They scored a lot of goals, I think 11 total on the weekend. So there was a lot of points put up, a lot of stats, a lot of shots on goal, a lot of everything. Great weekend. I hope they can continue this because we got 2 big games against Ogden starting tonight. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But before we get there, let's get to the players of the week. So the players of the week in your Mountain Division are forward Tyler Atchison. I told y'all. And the defenseman, we also got a recommendation there. Lucas Ronner was the defensive player of the week in the Mountain Division. And then I don't think we ever got player of the month last week when I did it. I don't think they were up and ready yet. So with that being said, we did have one player reach October's player of the month list, and that was defenseman DJ the Beast McLeish. My dude had a great September, or he had a September and October, if you guys don't remember, putting up some big stats. Therefore, he became the player of the month for the Mountain Division defensive. Let's get to some stats. Our overall stat leaders for the Spud Kings. Sorry, 1 second here. So the goals leader, first place is Tyler Atchison with 9. Second place is DJ McLeish with 7. I mean, it's still early in the season, so those numbers are just going to keep on climbing. Assist leaders, first, Leo the Mantenuto with 11. Second was Andrew Schmidt and Sam Grimaldi. Both of those guys have 10. Points leaders. First, Sam Grimaldi with 15. Second, Leo Mantonito and Tyler Atchison with 14. And then let's get to some goalie stats. So Devin Dagenstein is leading the way as our number one. And he is 6-0-1 on the season with a 93.1 save percentage, a 1.94 goals against average, and 188 total saves. Dude's just straight killing it. Alex Sabev, after starting off the year a little rough, is now 3-2 on the season with an 88.8 save percentage, a 2.41 goals against average, and 95 total saves. So we'll see how that duo keeps going for the rest of the year. With that, we'll get to the standings in the Mountain Division. First place, still Ogden Mustangs. They have a 14-1-1 record. Both of those losses there are against us, the mighty Idaho Falls Spud Kings. They have 29 total points. Second place, Grand Junction, 12-4-2 for 26 total points. And then your Idaho Falls Spud Kings are in third place with 10-3-1 record for 21 total points. So a little recap on what the trivia question was, just in case. What year was the penalty shot introduced? And the answer is the 1934-1935 season. So if you got that one right, give yourselves a high five, pat on the back. Thank you for doing trivia with me once again. I think it's kind of nice to have a little bit of information for you guys every once in a while. I mean, it's nice to keep it fresh, give you guys a little hockey knowledge. Some of you guys aren't hockey fans and became fans when the Spud Kings came. So I'd still like to try to keep that going. Now, the weekend preview, game one tonight, Friday, November 14th versus the Ogden Mustangs. It is in Ogden at the Weber County Sports Complex. Game time at 7 as usual. If you can get there, get out there, be rowdy, be louder than them Ogden crowds, and support our boys. Game 2 is tomorrow night, Saturday, November 15th, also in Ogden at the Weber County Sports Complex. Game time also 7. We need these two big games right here. This could catapult us in the rankings. We need to drop Ogden off of their little podium. If you can't get out to the games this weekend in Ogden, which, you know, some people can't, like myself, both are available on Black Bear TV. So check it out. Go out there, cheer on our boys, cheer them on from home, whatever it is you got to do, but support them. They need you. I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. I am your host, Woody, and as always, go Spud Kings!
Rivals crumble as the anthem plays. The beast off the leash setting the stage ablaze. Edwards with the setup, Schmidt with the